have children who are floating away, children who are in danger, children who are in crisis, listen to this Nesiva Shalom, mamish, practical advice on how to save kids. Ha'oid avichai. Vayomer Yosef el Echav, ani Yosef ha'oid avichai. Yosef tells his brothers, I am Yosef, is my father alive? So he asks as follows, L'chayr tzarech biur. Shari kvar betchila, kashabohu achem al Yosef b'pam hazois. Shal oisam hashalom avichem hazaken asher amartem oidanuchai. He already asked them the first time when they came, is your father alive? So why is he asking now? V'heshav loi oidanuchai. They told him he's alive. V'lama shayalim shuv ha'oid avichai. Why does he say, Ani Yosef, is my father alive? Kein tzarech bir haloshin ha'oid avi, my father chai loshin yachid. Madu alei amar ha'oid avinu chai. Once I'm saying, I'm your brother Yosef, it should say, is our father alive? Why does it say only b'loshin yachid? Oid yesh loimer, oid yesh lahakshais, shaloi metzinu tshuva b'divrei ha'achem al sheilazu. Also, he asked the question. They never answered it. So these are the three questions in the Nesiva Shalom. Again, when Yosef said, I am Yosef, ha'oid avichai, the first question is, why is he asking if his father is alive? When they came to Mitzrayim originally, he asked them, is your father alive? And they said yes. So why is he asking, is Tati alive? The second question is, why is he saying it b'lashon yachid? He should say, oid avinu chai, because he just said, I am your brother Yosef. Why does it say oid avichai? And the third question is, how come they never answered this question? If you look at it, they never answered. So what's going on over here with these words? Ha'oid avichai. V'yesh levaro inyan behektim bir. First we have to understand, we have to explain. Mashenemar beYaakov vayima'in lisnachim. Let's first understand the concept that when they told Yaakov that Yosef was gone, vayima'in lisnachim, he refused to be consoled. They said, give up on Yosef, it's over, he's gone, and he refused to be consoled. So he says, I don't understand. Tzaddikim accept reality. When bad things happen, tzaddikim accept it. Tzaddikim accept the Ratzon Hashem. What does it mean that he refused to be Makabel the Ratzon Hashem and to accept Ulahashlim im Hanagaso Yizbarach? Why did he refuse? They told him what happened. You have to accept the facts. If a person is a real Maimin, you even say Baruch Dayan Emes. You say, listen, if that's what happened, it's l'toiva, however you want to digest it, but tzaddikim don't refuse to accept things, refuse to accept reality. It's not the way tzaddikim are. So he explains as follows. This is a yesod, that our avos were so holy, they were so kitchuas atzmam, they made themselves so holy that they were mamash a vessel for understanding Ratzon Hashem. By Avram Avinu we all know that. How did he keep Kol HaTorah Kula? Because Avram's Eivarim, mamish is on their own. They did Ratzon Hashem. So it came in the middle of September or October, and he just wanted to shake a big palm tree and a big lemon. He just felt the need to do it. He felt the need. He knew internally, his essence knew what Hashem wants. That's what Tzaddikim did. And that's why actually it says, Vayishlach Avram es yadav vayikach samachelos. He was going to shecht, and why did he have to, Vayishlach es yadav, why did he have to push his hand? So the pshat is because his hand knew that the Ratzon Hashem is not to kill him, so his hand didn't want to do it. But he thought you're supposed to kill him, so he was like, this is odd. I gotta, Vayishlach es yadav. I have to command my hand and send my hand out to kill my son, because I don't know why, for some reason, it's not willing to do the Ratzon Hashem. But really the truth was that it's because the hand was right, because his essence was so connected to Hashem that it always knew the Ratzon Hashem. Agav, I want to add that people ask, Avram did not want to throw out Yishmael, right? But Lamaisa Hashem said, you're wrong. So if Avram Avinu always did the Ratzon Hashem, his essence always knew Ratzon Hashem, how come he got it wrong? If Hashem's Ratzon was to throw out Yishmael, how come Avram Avinu suddenly got it wrong? Right? He knew everything internally. Why did he get it wrong? So the answer is, if you look at the pasuk, it says, you should listen to your wife Sarah, ki biyitzchak kikar lechazara. Because Avram Avinu's cheshbon was, he's my son. And you don't throw out a child. The Ratzon Hashem is you don't throw out a child. Hashem says, but let me tell you something you didn't know. That it's a chiddush. Even though he's biologically your son, I am telling you, he is not considered your offspring. Oh, he's not considered my offspring, it's a different story. So that's how he made the mistake, because he understood that a Yiddish mama and a Yiddish tata would never ever abandon their child. What's your question? What about Sarah? Sarah wasn't his mommy. Sarah said, throw out the housekeeper's kid, is ruining my kid. Of course she wanted him out. Shaila's Avram Avinu, why didn't he agree? The teretz is because he knew he's my son, and I never will abandon my child. And why did Hashem say that you're wrong? Because we are not allowed to abandon our children. That child, right? Hashem said, Paskint, Kiv Yitzchak Yikol Chazara. The Chazon Ish said anyway, after Matan Torah, there's no such thing as he's not my child. After Matan Torah, Ein Lameidim Mikoydim Matan Torah to after Matan Torah at all. Okay, so the fact is that every tzaddik, internally they were makabel the Ratzon Hashem. So how can it be, Frekt and Nesiv Shulam, that Yaakov didn't want to accept the Ratzon Hashem? So listen to this. It was the Ratzon Hashem sheYaakov lo yisnachim v'lo yashlim im zeh sheYosef einenu. Because the Ratzon Hashem was that Yaakov should not give up on Yosef. Why? V'zois mehatam. Now listen to this. We have kids who are floating away from us, that are like in Mitzrayim, Eretz Haaretz, trapped in jail and tfisa from addiction and pain and all kinds of problems. Listen to this. T'chol yishu aseh shel Yosef, the entire salvation of Yosef, hoysa mikoyach as kashrus liYaakov, came only from the power of being connected to his tati. Shehu haya mekusher liYaakov. He was tied, gebindin, emotionally bound to his father Yaakov. V'Yaakov haya mekusher elav. It was a two-way street. He felt bound to Yaakov, and Yaakov showed he was bound to him. It's very interesting. Chassam Sofer. Chassam Sofer says, we all know that what triggered the jealousy of the Shvatim was that Yaakov gave Yosef the Ksainis Pasim. But you're a tati of 12 children. You don't know that they're going to be jealous? For Chassam Sofer, why did he do it? Why would Yaakov risk that the other kids are going to be jealous and give the Ksainis Pasim to one kid? The teretz is, the Chassam Sofer says, because Yaakov foresaw, he knew that of all my kids, this one is going to be in big trouble. This one's going to be ripped away from the family. This one's going to be a 17-year-old kid that's in a world that is totally foreign and strange to him, and he's going to go through nisyanis that none of the other kids are going to go through. And Yaakov realized that the only chance he has is if he knows that my tati loves me more than anybody or anything else in the world. So he took the Ksainis Pasim, he risked the jealousy of the brothers, because this kid needs a message. This kid needs to know this more than anybody else, and my tati loves me on the apple of his eye. He needed to know V'Yisrael Ohav es Yosef mikol echav. He needed to know that. So that's what he's saying over here. The only salvation of our children who are lost, the Chol Yishu Aseh Shel Yosef Haisa, by being connected. Shehu Haya Mekusher Yaakov, that Yosef was Mekusher, was gebindin, emotionally gebindin to his father Yaakov, and Yaakov was bound to Yosef. V'hayis kashrus hazois, in this connection, Nishmira was saved, was protected, guarded. Al yedei sheYaakov lo yishlim imkach sheYosef einenu v'lo yimash zichrone meliboy. If he would have thought that my Yosef is gone, so you emotionally disconnect. Right? That's part of life. There's a Shiva, there's a Shloshim, there's a year. You don't go around every single day. As painful as it is, life goes on. You're supposed to. It's healthy. You have to move on. So, if that would have happened, then he would have weakened, he would have lessened, he would have let go of the grip of the Hiskashus to Yosef, and then Yosef would never have made it. V'zeh shama chazal, shebishas hanasayin, we all know, niris loy dumus tiyukne shel aviv. At the time of the Nisayin, that the Medrash says that the Nisayin was stronger than Yosef, it was al-tivis, it was supernatural, he could not win on his own. So what happened? He saw his father's dumus, he saw the dumus of his father. Achim Yaakov mashlim chas v'shalom. I'm sorry. Shebeshas hanasoy niris loy dumus tiyukne shel aviv. Shezeh haya mikoyecha eskashus liYaakov. When he saw his father's face, if he sees his father's face and he thinks, oh, that guy will be so happy to get rid of me, right? He wishes I was dead. He wishes I was out. He's looking for the delete button. Then forget about it. There's no koyach, no energy coming from that. But because he saw his father's demus tiyukne, he saw that demus, and he realized, I am connected to something. That my tati wants me, my tati believes in me. Achem hoye Yaakov mashlim chas v'shalom im zeh sheyosef einenu u'masiach dato mimenu chas v'shalom ma'hoye chalikros. Who knows what would have happened? Because it's a real power. Kamayim apanim lepanim kein leva adam la'adam. You feel what the other person feels about you. You feel their concern. And if the father is at night thinking, I had 12 kids, now I have 11. I have a lot to be thankful for. We can move on. Nebuch, like some people feel. Nebuch. Then the kid automatically, it's not a joke. Then when they need to draw energy and power, they can't. They can't. We always say this story, but it's so powerful about this girl who decided to kill herself. And she said goodbye to Facebook, goodbye to the world, which is terrible. And then she started to kill herself, overdosing with pills. And in the middle, mamash a miracle, her mother called her. And when she saw the picture, the Mustyuknai Shel Imai, she saw her mother's face. At that moment, if she would have felt, they're better off without us. They're better off without me. I'm such a pain, I caused them so much aggravation, they're crying so much, right? She's better off without me. She would be gone. But she saw the Mustyuknai Shel Imai and she said, I can't do this to her, because I know that she will never ever get over me. And she called herself Hatzalah, pumped her stomach, and she's alive today, years later, because of that. That's a Dmus Yukna Shel Ava V'imi that's so powerful that they're going to need to draw power from. They're going to need to draw energy from. To have that extra power, Al Tivis, supernatural, above addictions that are too strong for them. But if Yaakov would have detached himself from Yosef, he would have let go of that rope, who knows what would have happened, says the Nesiv Shalom. Because of that power. By the way, Nesiv Shalom says in a different place that what you should do is you should be thinking about your kid and being ma'ir a love, ahava v'chemla b'li gvul. Od yoser mimasha rachashu elav adata. And this is a totally supernatural koyach. When you go to sleep at night, take out pictures, think about your kips, think about them, and be ma'ir a love, ahava v'chemla b'li gvul. You don't even need to say it to them. I mean, I want you to do that anyway. Right? But that's supernatural. Kamayim apanul apanum. They feel it. They feel an energy. If he would have succumbed to that Avera, he would have been kaput, he would have been gone. But the energy from having a Tati, that Mamish loved him, and connected to him, and was not Mesiach Das from him, was, he ended up being able to be Moshe al B'chol Eretz Mitzrayim. What does it mean spiritually? He ruled over all the klipas of Mitzrayim. He was surfing on top of all of the waves. All of the Nisyanis, all of the Erev Haaretz couldn't touch him. He was able to be above everything. He was able to retain his holiness in a crazy, sick world. Our kids who are out there, we try to build forces, walls to keep the bad and evil and tumah and confusion out of our homes. But these kids are out there. How do they ever come back? Most of them come back. The Bali Tshuva, they're so strong. You know what they have to overcome? We make sure that our kids should grow up pure and innocent. But once they're out there, mamish in the street, it's unbelievable. I heard Rabbi Avram Shor once said a vart. He said that, Chazal say that the Eibusha said, if you're going to accept the Torah, fine. And if not, then Shom tehei kfur aschem. He says Hashem suspended the Har Kegigois, the mountain on top of them, and he said this, but he should have said, and if you're not going to be in love, if you don't accept the Torah, Pai tehei kfur aschem. You're going to be buried here. What's Sham? So he said, because the chat was, Hashem said, be makabel the Torah and live a holy, wonderful life, and don't go out there to the world and get all their confusion and sin and all of that. And if you don't accept it, then Sham, over there, take for Aschem. That's where you're going to be buried, over there. Spiritual burial. So we try to protect our homes in every way that we can. And these kids, Nebuch, they end up right in the palm of their hand with the worst Averis and the worst Tumah and the worst confusion and the pain, and they're open to all of the craziness of the world. Everything. Mamish is in the palm of their hand. And they're walking in parades and they're siding with, they're there. And they still come back. But how can they come back? How can we expect our kids to be Moishel B'chol Eretz America, B'chol Eretz, the world in this century, which is probably, I don't know what the klipas of Mitzrayim were, and the Erev Haaretz of Mitzrayim, but I can't imagine that it's anywhere near the klipas that we're dealing with today, that people don't even know if they're left or right, if they're straight or crooked, right? They don't know if they're, a man or a woman? People could be so confused. Open up a Gmail account. This is still kosher, even with a filter you can do this. Open a Gmail. Google Rabbeinu Shalom. Open a Gmail account. It's free. And it'll ask you, click here, man, woman, other. I didn't know there's an other. What else can it be? It's pretty simple. Why is this so confusing? Why is this so complicated? And because of a small amount of people, other. And Azavi is Sagayish sich, Crystal sich, Yiddish sich, transgender and LBGQBT, and all of these things that are so confusing. It used to be very simple. You were a man, you stayed a man, you went to the men's bathroom, you died a man. You married a woman who was born a woman, and who went to the woman's bathroom and died a woman. It wasn't that now options. It's very complicated. You imagine someone 13, 14, 15, and all of a sudden you got options. Which bathroom do you want to go to? What are you in the mood of? Are you in the mood of being a man? Are you in the mood of being a woman? Are you in the mood of being a man who feels like a woman, or a woman who feels like a man who feels like a woman who feels like a man? Which bathroom are you going to go to? It's very complicated. And what happens if you're in the middle of going to the bathroom and you change how you feel? Like, what happens then? Then you're mamish, you find yourself in the middle of nowhere's land. It's mamish horrible. It's mamish horrible. So it's such a confusion. B'chol klipas eretz ha'aretz umlaya d'sayu v'vayu. Wow. So Yosef only managed to do it because he was holding on to a skashus. He was holding on to a cord. He was holding on to a rope. And on the other side of the rope was who? It was Tati. One of the first, in the first year of TP. This is unbelievable that this mother came up with this. One of the best TP moms. Unbelievable, inspirational. And her son was traveling somewhere far away with the ponytail and everything. And she had such a hiskashus to this kid. And she didn't want him to be in danger, alone, far away from home, in Ervis, wherever he was going to. And at the airport, she came up with a brainstorm. She pulled him in close and she said, listen, we're doing a surgery. He said, a surgery? What kind of surgery? She said, make believe this is a string, and I'm attaching it to my heart. I'm tying it here around my essence, around my heart. I'm tying this around. And this is a string, and now, and she went like this into his chest. And now I'm tying it into your heart. And now our hearts are connected by an invisible rope. And wherever you go, wherever you are, you just tug on that, and I'm going to feel you in my heart. And he said, he used to at night, if he was scared, if he was alone, he would give it a little tug. And she would tell him on the phone, by the way, last night I tugged you. Did you feel it? Yeah, mommy, I tugged you. And they felt connected. And Baruch Hashem, this boy came back from the abyss, married, wonderful, beautiful, mamish wonderful. Because a mommy and a tati who didn't let go of that rope. So Yosef is holding on to this rope, and on the other side is a tati. If tati would have thought that he's gone, give up on him, so then he would have weakened his grip on it, the kid never would have made it out. Think about how many parents, which is such a chaval, because most of the kids come back. And their parents who are advised by people, oh, this can't come back. I could be made. We've had kids come back from every kind of situation. There is no situation where a kid cannot come back. I worked with a kid who shmad. He shmad. He walked around with a cross. He shmad. Today, that kid, you can go meet him. From Erlach, married. I was at the wedding. Just had a baby. I just saw his father a couple of weeks ago. He just had a baby. So anything. I've been a kid who came to me the first time I saw him. He said, "I'm gay." The kid was convinced for years that he's gay. He's married today to a woman. From comes to my house. I mean, there's no such thing that this kid, no way. We've had kids in TP come back. We have today Kanai almost 80 from kids. To be from means you have to be alive, clean, stable, emotionally strong enough to re-embrace Yiddishkeit and to live a from life. Come on, I'm at the weddings. And people go ahead and they tell parents, no, let go. Or Nebuch, Rachmana litzlan, and I'm not anti-therapy, but I'm anti-this. You have to, what do they call it? They tell you, you're too entangled with this kid. You're too close to this kid. What's the word? There's a word. Enmeshed, no? What? You're codependent. You have to begin to, what's that word? They have a famous word. You're too attached to the kid. You have to detach. Yaakov Avinu. Vayima'in lisnachem. You have to detach Yaakov. Come on, get over it. There's a reality. Kid's not coming back. We got blood here. I'm telling you, this kid can't come back. And they give advice to parents. You have to detach from your child. He's codependent. He has to become a choice. They hit rock bottom. All of this garbage. It's an assignment that's too strong for them. Why are you giving up on them? They're going to come back, like Reb Shimshon Pinkus said, Be'ezras Hashem kulam chozrim. They all come back. Right? Our job is to just to be there for them and never let go. So listen to what he says. Va'al kein ha'yizeh ratzon Hashem sheYaakov lo yashlam im hedroi shel Yosef v'yachshav shu adayin chai ve'ivarav shel Yaakov kimu es ratzon Hashem. Hashem wanted Yaakov to feel in his ratzon, in his bones, that Yosef is alive, and therefore his bones taka follow the ratzon Hashem. V'al derech mashal. It's a mashal. La'adam shenafal l'shol tachtis. Somebody falls way deep down. He's gone. Somebody falls into a 500-foot pit. He's gone. But if he has biyadai chevel, if he has a rope, hamachubar, which is connected, le'ezed davar yotziv, which is connected to a fixed, right? A fixed thing. There's a rope connected to a rock, something that's never going to move. Ein loy mali yisyarei. He doesn't have any reason to be scared. It doesn't matter how far away you are, because you're connected to something that is never going to budge. There's always a way to get out of the matzav, no matter what the matzav is looking like. I had so many times kids I was working with, and they told me their situations. I said to myself, how is this kid ever going to make it out? And they're alive. Alive, thriving, building families. It's possible. As long as you're connected to something that's never going to budge. I'm never going to let go of this rope. But if you're not connected to anything that's strong and that's never going to let go of you, it's really bad news. Because if you fall, you could be lost forever. Like the famous medrash that he brings down in Shabbos many times. There was somebody who was drowning in the ocean. The captain threw out the chevel, the life preserver, to him. And he screamed out to him, hold on to this rope. As long as this rope is in your hands, yesh l'chaim, you have life. But if you let go of this rope, ein l'chaim, you will never be alive, you'll never make it. What was the eights of the captain? The hamanig, and those who are leaders, he tvois chevel zeh. This is the message to the children who are out there drowning in the shmutz and in the yam hasoyar, into the terrible, terrible stormy seas. The message is tvois chevel zeh, hold on to this rope that I'm giving you. If you're going to have the power being connected to me, the Tati, the Mami, who is never going to leave you. Even if you're drowning in the sea. You should give your kid a rope. And you say, hold on to this no matter where you are. As long as you're holding on to this rope, there's hope. You never let go, Shefala, and I will never let go. And there's a hope. You'll always get out of anything because we are together, we are a team. Kol zman she'achevel hazeh biyodecha yesh l'chaim. V'al derech zeh haya eitzel Yosef shemikoyches kashrus liYaakov hichzik ma'imid kol hazman. That's what happened to Yosef in Mitzrayim, because he was mekusher emotionally through an invisible rope that only comes because the father and mother do not give up on the kid and believe in the kid, and because they were never Mesiach Das, they never let it slip. That's why Yosef ended up being able to withstand the challenges, ride above the waves, all the Klipas Mitzrayim he conquered, and he was able to become Mamash the Yesod, Midas Yesod of Klal Yisrael. Now he's going to answer all the kasha so beautifully. Ani Yosef, I am Yosef. Oysa Yosef, that Yosef that you knew. That same Yosef, that same good boy that when I used to be in yeshiva, you remember that guy? That kid who was coming home with good marks once upon a time? He says, Yosef, I need Yosef, I'm the same Yosef. I want to tell you something. I am that same Yosef. Ata la'achar kol hanisyonis she'avarti. After every nisayon, all the challenges that I went through. V'la'achar shenayisi Moshe b'chol eretz Mitzrayim. You want to know why? V'al zeh hoysef ha'oid avichai. Hainu, avi sheli, my tati. Hiskashu shel avi elai ha'oidena chaya. Because the relationship and the connection between my tati and me, I'm telling you how I remained Yosef. Because Oid Avi Chai, I'm telling you how I did it, because my tati, my relationship with my father stayed alive. Shadayin hakesha beinenu malechius. With the same geschmack and the same connection. That's how I was able to be Yosef, even after everything I went through. Umavur oimrei Avi b'lashon yachid. And now it makes sense why he said Avi, because he wasn't talking about our father, is he physically alive. He was letting them know the reason that I was able to be Ani Yosef, the same Yosef as before, after everything I went through, is because I always felt that my tati, my relationship with him is alive. He already asked them, like we said before, he already asked them when they came, if tati's physically alive. I want to let you know that my tati is alive. He's alive in me. And he says so beautiful, it wasn't a question. Is tati still alive? It wasn't a shaila. And that explains the other question. They never answered him. You know why they never answered the question? Because it wasn't a question, it was a statement. I'm letting you know how I managed to survive. Wow, you went off to derech when you were 15, you were doing drugs at 16, you were selling drugs at 17, and you ended up here and there and everything, and now you see so many of these kids when they're older, and they're normal, and they're stable. Ani Yosef, but how'd you do it? Oid Avichai, because inside of me, every step of the way, I felt a lebedika kesher, his kashrus, to my tati and my mami, that they never let go of me. And that could only happen if, emotionally, you never abandon your kids, you never mesiach das from your kids, you never let go of them, you never give up on them. I don't care how many other kids you have. This kid is your kid, and you are going to carry him and hold on to him and carry him to that chuppah be'ezus Hashem. I have no doubt about it. And the same Yosef that I was, from the koyach, from the power, because my relationship with my father, my connection, it's alive inside of me. We can tanzen, we can dance on top of all the nisyanis, as long as you have a tati, even far away, that refuses to give up on you. And that's why, so beautifully says the Nesiv Shalom, it says Yaakov refused to give up on him, and the next chapter, Yosef is faced with his biggest nisayon of his life. And what's the word that it says? Vayima'in. Says the Nesiv Shalom. Vayima'in is connected to Vayima'in. When you have a tati that refuses to give up on you, Vayima'in, he connected to the Shalshelis HaKodesh. That's the Shalshelis. Yaakov and Yitzchak and Avram, and he schlepped himself out of that matziv because shuv lo yachid. It wasn't one against one. It wasn't a guy going out there fighting a guy with a knife who's a karate expert. It's two against one. Niskasher im aviv, says the Nesiv Shalom. And that's the vayima'in of a parent who refuses to give up on the child, gives the koyach even far away. You don't see him, you don't know where she is, but there's a koyach that I am not alone. Vayima'in, I will be able to refuse at some point. I'll be able to get back and to pull on that other piece of that rope and come back home to Tati.
We could see Yaakov Avinu that he was the first one that gave a bomb. Gave to his passing.
Oh, beautiful! You see how Mamash Yisaid, he gave him a bomb. There were no 65-inch televisions in those days. All you had was Excited Passive. I bet you he wrapped it. And he wrote he showed him all of his love. He said, "You are the most special thing in the world to me." That's the first bomb, first love bomb in the Torah. Beautiful.